Welcome back to my channel. Yesterday, Hockey Canada released the roster for their World Junior Summer Showcase camp that happened yesterday and throughout the week. So it is hockey news, so I'm gonna talk about it. There are 44 players who were invited. I'm going to be talking about 16 of them. And in that 44, 8 players were unable to attend due to recovering from injury or just being banged up from a long season. And also, today is my birthday, so this is a special video, a birthday video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting with the goaltenders, I'm going to go through all the goaltenders because there's 4 of them. So first is Evan Gardner of the Saskatoon Blades in the WHL. Second is Carter George, who is from Owen Sound of the OHL. Then Jack Ivan Kovic, who is from Brampton of the OHL, and then Joshua Ravensbergen, who is a friend of my brother's, so I cheer for him heavily whenever it comes to whatever he's doing. So yeah, he's from Prince George of the WHL. These are some good goalies. I think that it's ultimately gonna come down to the 3 last ones I talked about. I'm sorry, Evan Gardner, but yeah, I think these 4 goalies are good. From what I've seen with their numbers, they're pretty decent. They all have a save percentage of 900 or above, which you'll love to see that. They all were predominant goalies on their respective junior teams, and Ravensbergen had the most starts out of all of them. And Carter George and Jack Ivan Kovic, they are returnees. That was the tandem for their team, for the World Junior team last year. So it's going to be interesting to see if one of Evan Gardner or Joshua Ravensbergen will be able to make enough of an impact at this camp and also at their winter camp and throughout the season, to see if they can crack what a lot of people are already touting as the tandem for Canada. So that's your goaltenders. Next, going to defense, I am going to be talking about 4 defensemen. First, Ben Danford of Oshawa of the OHL, who was drafted by Toronto in 2024. He is of note to me, at least, because he's a Maple Leaf draft pick. And if you have watched any of my videos in the past month or 2, you'll understand that I am a fan of 2 to 3 teams, and that is the Vancouver Canucks, the Montreal Canadiens, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. For reasons why the Montreal and Toronto are my favorite teams, go watch my last video actually, because I explained it in that one. So yeah, he's a Maple Leaf draft pick, and he did pretty all right with Oshawa last year. He was definitely a little bit more on the, I wouldn't say disappointing side, but he was not as great as he should have been last year. But the fact that he got an invite to camp is a good thing for him. Next, Sam Dickinson, returnee from last year's team. He was a monster as a defenseman in the OHL last year. Got 91 points. You don't see that often. He was also on a really good London team, so take the points with a little bit of grain of salt, but also recognize he's a pretty good defenseman. So good for him for getting the invite. Then Zane Prek, who they famously left off of last year's team, and last year's team was just a complete tire fire in my opinion. So yeah, it's good to see that some of the names on this invited list are on the radar and they're thinking about because they're pretty good. And then Matthew Schaefer, who went first overall last year, despite the fact that he only played 17 OHL games and only played 2 World Junior games where he got injured in his second one. And yeah, it's a toss-up of if he's going to be in the NHL, if he's going to go to college, or what's going to happen. Being the overall pick, it's kind of like, well, you're going into the NHL the next season. So we'll see what happens with him, if he's actually going to be available for next year's World Juniors. Then going to forwards, I have Justin Carbonneau, who played in the QMJHL, and he had 89 points. He is the lone QMJHL player at this camp. And say what you want about the QMJHL, he is pretty good. He is an 06, even though that he was drafted this past draft, so he's a late birthday. And yeah, new to the system, so this is his last year of eligibility for the World Juniors. Next, Berkeley Cotton, who was on last year's team and was pretty good in the WHL for Spokane. He got 109 points in 57 games. That is almost 2 points per game player. And I am not going to be, I think he's kind of a shoo-in to be on the team next year or this upcoming tournament. If he's not, I'm not even going to go there, but yeah, good for him for getting another invite. Next, Braden Coots, who was a Vancouver Canucks draft pick in this past draft. He had 63 points in 60 games played for Seattle in the WHL last year. He's a Vancouver Canucks draft pick, and that is mainly why he's kind of standing out to me. But he is good. I've seen some of his tape, and I'm like, I like that this guy is in the Vancouver Canucks system. And also, it's just been a while since a Vancouver Canucks draft pick who is Canadian has made a lot of noise in the prospect talk. So I like to see that. Next, Michael Hage, who played for the University of Michigan last season. A lot of people said that the reason why he was left off the team last year was because of the fact that he's a college player, and Hockey Canada is this weird thing where they feel betrayed easily or something like that. I'm not going to get too far into that because I don't believe that I need to give my opinion on that. He was pretty good for Michigan last season, and he's newish to this system. He was invited to camp last year but didn't make the team. However, if he makes the team, he'll be really good, and he's a Montreal Canadiens draft pick, so a little biased, but at the end of the day, he's pretty good. Now for the big three: Porter Martone, Gavin McKenna, and Michael Misa. If all goes well and Michael Misa and Porter Martone's going to Michigan State next year, Michael Misa is still up in the air of what he's going to do. But Michael Misa should have been invited, or should have been at least invited to last year's team, but wasn't. He's new, but the other two, Gavin McKenna and Porter Martone, are returning players. And having these three as like a top line for this tournament would definitely help in the scoring and winning aspect that Canada has kind of lacked in the last two World Juniors, especially last year. So Michael Misa, 134 points. Gavin McKenna, 129 points. Porter Martone, 98 points. So if you can have those three on your team, good for you. You should win at least something. So yeah, those guys I am hoping to see on the World Juniors team if Michael Misa and Porter Martone will be on the team, but Michael Misa, depending if he makes the jump to the NHL or not, or what he does. So I hope to see those three in the tournament. Last forward I'm going to talk about is Tarek Parasak of the Prince George Cougars in the WHL. He had 82 points last season in 59 games, and he's new to the system, so good for him for making himself known. Reason why he's on my radar is because he played with Joshua Ravensbergen, who I follow pretty closely. So being able to see the Prince George team and just getting to know him as a player, it was very fun for me. So yeah, he's just a good overall player. Now, going into the guys who were invited but were unable to attend, I'm not going to go too far into them, but all these names will be making some sort of case for themselves to be on the team this upcoming tournament. We've got Carter Bear of Everett of the WHL, Caleb Denwyer of Moncton of the QMJHL, Liam Greentree of Windsor in the OHL, Tija Ginla Kelowna of the WHL, Jet Luchenko Guelph of the OHL, Roger McQueen Brandon of the WHL, Sam O'Reilly of London of the OHL, and Beckett Seneca of Oshawa of the OHL. Those are all great players, and if you have they will be on the team. At least 5 of them, in my opinion. I don't think there really needs to be much said about them. Caleb Denwyer, who was just drafted in this past draft, was like one of the leading points producers in the QMJHL last year. Beckett Seneca, he went surprisingly 3rd overall not this past draft, but the draft before then. And I mean, Tija Ginla, yes, he was injured for majority of last season. However, he is a good player all around. So I hope to see decent of these 8 players on the upcoming roster. And that is my thoughts and my opinions about the invitees. Keep in mind, this is a summer showcase. This is not the final invites for what's going to be the camp in December. And it is just temporary right now. So we'll see how the season goes and see who is doing good and who is not. It's feeling a little bit like a Canada revenge tour, a little bit, with the coaching staff that the team has chosen, with the Hunters. I mean, Dale Hunter's on the bench and Mark Hunter is one of the managers, but with the Hunters involved, with the winner of the QMJHL involved, with the guy who made it to the WHL finals last season involved, I have I won't say high hopes, but I do have hopes in that this upcoming tournament will be different than tournaments past. Mainly just the last two, because the third last one they won gold, and then the fourth last one they also won gold. So I would like to see a returning to gold medals being won at this tournament for Canada. So that will be the video. Like it, comment, let me know what your thoughts on the upcoming World Juniors will be. And also subscribe, because I like making these videos, and when you subscribe, it means that you like it when I make videos as well. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.